In a story about a missing 7-month-old baby that has garnered national attention, an organization announcing they are pulling their search teams and reward offer for information leading to the missing baby. This as investigators cast doubt on the mother's story.
Rebecca Haro parked in this stall here at the Big Five in Yucaipa.
Usually when they get knocked out, they get hit and they're stiff, or they lay right out and they hit the floor. What's going on? Welcome back to Fugitive TV, where we dissect cases from fugitives to people that are missing to criminals that are running, causing shenanigans right now, courtrooms, whatever you name it. And the reason why we do that is because I was once one of them. I was actually a fugitive on the run for about 15 years. So because of that, I can give you an insight that some of these other people can't. I did my time, I did everything, and I'm here to help y'all out. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get into that mysterious disappearance of that little boy, the little baby, Emmanuel Haro, out in Yucaipa. If you don't know what happened, I'm going to break it down to you real quick. So supposedly the mother went to Big Five sporting goods store because she went to go buy, I believe it was her stepson, a new mouth guard because he plays football and needed football practice. So she took the baby with him. They went to Big Five sporting goods store, and then when they went there, the baby needed the diaper change. So supposedly she was changing the diaper inside of the car, and I think she was in the back of the car with the trunk lifted up or something like that, changing the diaper. She never went inside the store. So she says that somebody tapped her on her shoulder. She turned around, they said hola, and before she even got to see who they were, everything just went white.
Now at 10 o'clock, where is baby Emmanuel? It has been over 48 hours since anyone has seen the 7-month-old who was reported missing by his mother in San Bernardino County.
And tonight, investigators saying they cannot rule out foul play in his disappearance. The boy's mother says that she was attacked Thursday in the parking lot of a Big Five in Yucaipa and that the attacker took off with her baby.
Now deputies say there are inconsistencies with her account of what happened.
That's it, white. Like she got knocked out, and then she woke up, baby was gone. She went looking for him and everything else, could not find him. And then I guess didn't report him missing until a little bit later on. Well, it wasn't that got people suspicious. It was more of when they were actually on the news, and they were given a report of what happened on the news, and they were pretty much asking people to help find him, asking people if they have him to bring him back. That is where it got suspicious. One reason is because the dad was referring to his son in the past tense.
Turning, that was just, I don't remember nothing. I got up off the floor and I didn't see my child. Someone took him from me.
He has a little lazy eye. What's the only thing that's distinctive about him that he has no birthmarks. Beautiful, healthy baby boy. 7-month-old baby boy.
He was like, he was this, he was that, he was this, he was that. Now, I'm not saying that's a red flag. You know, we all misspeak. I'm speak on here every day. But that's where some people said that was a red flag. Not only that, the lady had a black eye. Now, if you look at the black eye on her face, it didn't look like a fresh black eye. It looked like it was there for a little bit and it's been healing. It does look like it's been healing and it's been there for about a few days, a week old. It doesn't look like it's fresh, like the nose is swollen and the whole eye is black. Y'all, you know, I've seen people when they get a black eye right away. It doesn't look like that. So that was suspicious for a lot of people because supposedly she told somebody that she got hit in the face and, you know, she got knocked out. Now, I don't know if you guys ever seen anybody get knocked out. I've seen a few people get knocked out, you know, in jail, the street, whatever you want to call it. I've seen a few people get knocked out. Usually when they get knocked out, they get hit and they're stiff or they lay right out and they hit the floor. There's no bracing, there's no nothing. So she didn't have a bump on her head. Remember, she's in a parking lot, so she didn't have a bump on her head or nothing. So that part right there was kind of like, I even questioned that part. Now we're going to take a look at the Big Five parking lot. I'm pretty sure there is cameras out there. There's got to be cameras out there, right? For this parking lot. She never went inside the store. And my question is, how long was she just laying on the parking lot, knocked out. And then what? Nobody walked by. Nobody was like, this lady's laying in the parking lot, and there's diapers right here. Just wake her up. No, nobody did this. So I think she was on the ground for like 10 or 11 minutes or something like that. And then finally she woke up, supposedly. So we're going to quickly go over the timeline of events, the timeline of the events that happened. So August 14th, 5:30 p.m., because just this happened not long ago. Family meets Jake's ex and her boyfriend at the park. So the family meets Jake's ex and her boyfriend at the park. Now remember, there's a football practice, right? There's a football game. Practice is at 6 p.m. 7 p.m., Rebecca leaves the park to buy a mouth guard at a nearby store, which was Big 5. 7:30, Rebecca arrives at the store, which is Big 5. She says she smelled a dirty diaper, started changing it, then recounts different versions of what happened next. Someone said hola. She either did turn, or only saw white. Claimed she was struck in the head, blacked out, woke up with a black eye. Then Emmanuel was gone. She ran into Big 5 Sporting Goods, asking if anyone saw her baby or someone with a baby, returned to her vehicle to retrieve her phone, and then called 911. Now, I'm not going to question that part because you really don't know what you would do in that situation. You really don't. Yeah, we all can say we would have did this, or we would have picked up our phone, we would have called 911 right away, or we would have did that, we would have did this, would have did that. But we don't know until we are in that predicament. And for you guys that don't know, I've lost a child, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it later and how I felt and what happened. So at 7:41, police are called. 7:47, deputies in Yucaipa were dispatched to a retail business after Rebecca Haro reported that while she stood outside her vehicle changing her child's diaper, she was physically assaulted by an unknown male and rendered unconscious. When she woke, her 7-month-old infant Emmanuel was gone. Deputies and canine units from San Bernardino and Riverside counties responded and began an extensive search. Emmanuel was not located. 8:00 p.m. Jake realizes Rebecca hasn't returned. He calls her, learns what happened, and gets a ride to Big 5 with his ex-girlfriend, her boyfriend, and at least 4 kids. So I guess they only had one car. So she didn't call him. She called the police, which, I get it. Some people are saying that's a red flag, but I don't really think that's a red flag. I get that part. Now, Rebecca R. Chavez, a.k.a. Rebecca Haro, and then the father is Jake Haro. The location it happened at was 34579 Yucaipa Boulevard in Yucaipa, California. All right. Police update. This is an active investigation. We are seeking the public's help in locating the child. He was last seen wearing a black Nike onesie. He weighs about 21 pounds, is approximately 24 inches tall, has brown hair, brown eyes, and he is cross-eyed. If you have any information, please call 911. Sheriff's Dispatch at 909-387-8313. Sorry, 909-387-8313. Sorry, I was going off reading something else on here. No additional information is available at this time. Now, she also says, let's see here. There's an update. I'm reading all these updates. Some of them are worth reading, some of them are not. Now, 12:56, investigators from a specialized investigation division are continued to investigate the reported kidnapping of the 7-month-old child, right? So they brought out canine units. The canine scent tracking dogs are deployed, but the child was not located. No suspect information is available at this time. Supposedly, what I saw and what I read, that the canines didn't pick up a scent of the child at all there. So some people are questioning if she even went there. 10:12 p.m. Investigators continue. Now, this is the next day. The investigators continue their search for a 7-month-old baby boy who was reported to be kidnapped last night in Yucaipa. The child was not been found. All right. So then August 16th, 2:40 p.m. Based on circumstances, Sheriff's Specialized Investigation Division responded and assisted with the investigation. Investigators interviewed multiple individuals, including Emmanuel's parents, Jake and Rebecca. During those interviews, Rebecca was confronted with inconsistencies in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. Now, for you people who don't know, whenever somebody goes missing, especially a child, they're going to interview you multiple times. Now, I don't always think it's some people think it's a red flag because she declined. She was like, I'm done with the interview. I don't really consider that a red flag. Here's the reason why. And for you people that don't know, whenever there's a child missing, who do they look to first to try and put the blame on? Who? The parent. They try to put the blame on the parent or the person that was watching the child last, even if you had nothing to do with it. The investigators, the detectives, the DA, they're going to look at you and they're going to try their hardest to try and make sure that you pay for the child, whatever happens, death or kidnapping, whatever. They're going to look at you, and a lot of times they're going to look at you as a suspect. So they're going to keep giving you these interviews to see if you trip up on something you say. One, they're going to see if you were there at the crime scene. Two, which she was. Three, they're going to make sure that your stories are matching up. So what time were you there? 8:05. The next day interview. What time were you there? 9:05. Your stories are matching up. So now they're thinking that you're lying, and now they want to look into you more. And because of you lying, or not lying, maybe you just didn't remember, now they can go get a search warrant to go search your house, to go get more evidence, phone records, computer records, everything, so they can try and put the blame on you. Now, the reason why I know this is, remember I told you I had a child that passed away. I had a 3-year-old son that passed away. This was a long time ago. This is actually when I took off on the run. It was right after his accident, okay, 15 years ago. So even a little longer than that now. But he passed away in a car accident. The mother was driving. My son's mother was driving a car. I wasn't around. Now, the car accident was not her fault whatsoever. It really was not. He was at the age where he was able to unbuckle his seatbelt. So he unbuckled his seatbelt. She reached back to try and put him back in his seatbelt, lost control of the car. And then the police tried to blame her for it. They tried to put a charge on her. I wasn't rolling with that. I wasn't trying to sit there and be like, oh, it's her fault. No, I was behind her 100%. I wasn't doing that. But that is what the police do. So even though she denied, going for another interview or walked out the interview, I really don't consider it as a red flag. Now, it could be. Just depends on what was being said, but we won't know, right? Until maybe later on in the future. Now it says Rebecca was confronted with inconsistency in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. At this point in the investigation, investigators are unable to rule out foul play and the disappearance of Emmanuel because they don't have proof. They don't have a body. They don't have anything, right? They can't rule in foul play. Now, the inconsistencies. Rebecca initially told San Bernardino County Sheriff's investigators that she was changing the baby's diaper by her vehicle Thursday night, August 14th, outside of a Big Five store. When she woke, the child was gone because the guy knocked her unconscious. She said she had to go to Big Five store to buy a mouthguard for her stepson. When she arrived in the parking lot, she said she realized the baby's diaper needed to be changed, so she laid him down in the back of her truck and then was attacked from behind. She said she knows the smell from the baby, so I wanted to change him before going into the store, which is, some people are red flagging that. Why change it? Well, where else are you going to change a baby at? Right there on the sidewalk? So I don't see that as a red flag. I took him out of the car seat and laid him on the chair. And then someone said, hola, turned around and she got knocked out. I got up from the floor and didn't see my child. Someone took him. Now, another time she said, I got him out of the car seat. I laid him down so I can get his diaper ready. All I remember, I saw white. I fell on the floor. As soon as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck. I ran into Big Five and asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with the baby. She said no. He's a happy boy. Rebecca said he was a healthy baby. He was crawling. He was kicking. He was playing his toys. Whoever took our son, please give him back. Now, Rebecca didn't say that. I believe, the baby's father, Jake, that's what Jake said. And I'm going to play that for you guys. But that's what Jake said. Weighs about 21 pounds, right? Now, this part right here, the inconsistencies, right? So if we look at these inconsistencies, if we can see any you have to look at every little word. And I'm trying to see if I can see anything right now that says, okay, she was changing the baby's diaper by her vehicle Thursday night. By her vehicle. When she was assaulted and knocked unconscious by an unknown man when she awoke. She also said she realized the baby's diaper needed to be changed, so she laid him down in the back of her truck and then was attacked from behind. Then she said, I noticed the smell from the diapers. I took him out of the car seat and laid him on the chair. So, from what I'm reading right here, because we really don't know everything that was said. So what I'm reading right here is just little small details. It's not really nothing big. if she was like, yeah, we arrived at 9 o'clock and I took the baby out the back seat, I put her in the back of the truck and changed a diaper. But then they went back and interviewed her later on. She was like, yeah, I walked into the store, walked around, came back and changed. Now that'd be a little different. So these are little inconsistencies. Now, I really still don't see too much of a red flag with this. Like I said, the cops try and do their best to try and blame somebody, to charge somebody. It's their job. Their job isn't really charge somebody. You think it's to help you out and find somebody? No, they want to charge somebody. August 17th, investigators remain focused on an inconsistencies of Rebecca's story and allegations about Jake's past. Now, here's when it really gets good. Jake has a past. All right. 7:30 p.m. candlelight vigil was held on Sunday night for 7th Emmanuel Haro, who has been missing since Thursday. 9 p.m. We appreciate the community's patience. They're still looking for him.
Now, deputies say there are inconsistencies with her account of what happened. KTLA5's Sarah Welsh joins us live in San Bernardino with the latest on this story. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Clark, good evening. Investigators say when they confronted Rebecca Haro about inconsistencies within her initial statement that she refused to continue any questioning. And tonight, the grandmother has confirmed to us that the couple is no longer cooperating with investigators and has lawyered up just hours after they made that desperate public plea for their son's safe return.
It's just a baby. Just give our son back, please.
Where is 7-month-old Emmanuel? His parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, say someone kidnapped their baby outside this Big 5 in Yucaipa after assaulting Rebecca Haro and knocking her out cold.
I was gonna get the diaper and somebody said hola, and I didn't see nothing since. I woke up right here on the floor. And I didn't see Emmanuel.
Haro says she was parked in front of the store about to change her son's diaper when someone came up behind and assaulted her. She claims she was struck in the face but wasn't able to get a look at who did it before they took off with her son. But investigators say there are inconsistencies with Haro's initial statement, and because of that, they cannot rule out foul play.
They're not going to hurt that baby. That couple were just homebodies.
The baby's grandmother is adamant the couple is innocent. She says Emmanuel is her daughter's pride and joy and that she waited years to have a baby boy of her own. The grandmother also says investigators asked her daughter to take a lie detector test, but her husband said no until they had a lawyer.
She's just going crazy, she can't handle it anymore.
She says her daughter is receiving death threats and her 2-year-old has been removed from the home. As the search for baby Emmanuel goes on 48 hours after his mother claims someone ran off with him.
Now, we went over the timeline of events, right? And then we read at the end that she was inconsistent on Jake's past. We're going to look at Jake's past because he does have a past and it's not a good one. This is really when the red flags pop up.
Many media outlets are reporting that Jake has a history of abuse, and according to court records. And look, the paperwork is a little messy and honestly kind of confusing, but here's the gist. He was first arrested back on October 12th, 2018, and then a few years later on October 5th, 2021. Prosecutors actually filed a charge for willful cruelty.
All right, so right now what you're looking at is the court filing report on Jake. It was filed in 2021, but then he got evicted almost 2 years later in 2023. It was a felony. Now, charge information: willful child cruelty, count 001. Willful child cruelty pretty much is when you're beating on a child or you beat a child. County jail sentence, 180 days. State prison, upper term sentence length, 72 months. That was suspended. So he got a county jail sentence. He was sentenced to 180 days in county jail. And then state prison was suspended. Then he also got probation for 48 months.
Which makes it look like he was picked up at first, then released, and it wasn't until years later that the official charge came down. Now, in California, that particular charge is serious. It covers situations where someone intentionally causes or allows a child to suffer, whether that's physical pain, mental suffering, or even putting a child in a dangerous situation that could cause serious harm or death. The punishment can range anywhere from up to a year in county jail all the way to 6 years in state prison. And after those charges were filed, Jake posted bond, a $35,000 bond, just before Christmas in 2021. Court documents also show that records were pulled from Loma Linda Children's Hospital, which strongly suggests that the child who was hurt ended up being treated there. So fast forward to June 8th, 2023. Jake accepts a plea deal. And here's what that looked like. 6 years of prison time, but it's suspended. Instead, he gets 180
exactly
days
what
in
I just
county
said.
jail. But here's the catch. 179 of those days are served through a work release program. Only one actual day behind bars. Of 2024, Jake was arrested once again, this time.
All right, so we're going to
for
get
one
into this
count
right
of a
here, another
convicted
one.
felon and narcotic addict.
All right, so once again, he's arrested again, right? Arrested June 27, 2024, pretty much a year ago. Filing date was July 10th, 2024. Last day for trial was November 16th, 2024. Pretty much expiration date, agent days 402, continuous is 5. Now let's see here. Bond was $10,000. Convicted felon, narcotic addict on possessive. So he was possessing firearms, and it looks like they're drugs as well too. He had 2 counts. Yeah, 2 counts looks like. Even though you see 3, both of these counts, the first 2 look like they have the same number. So because they have the same number, that's actually 1 count. And then the second count, if you look, 30305, that is actually the second count. Prohibited person owned possession of ammunition. So he got caught with the gun because he's a convicted felon with the gun. Then he had ammunition and narcotic. So it looks like he had narcotics on him as well.
Owning or possessing a firearm, and 1 count of a prohibited person owning or possessing ammunition. He was arrested and posted a $10,000 bond, which he is currently out on now. Although he has a
So this man is currently out on bond. I'm just learning just right now, just like you guys are, currently out on bond.
probation violation court date scheduled for September 2nd. An alleged former co-worker of Jake has since posted on Facebook, quote, "I used to work with Jake at Walmart. He should be the prime suspect in all of this. I'm not going to go into detail, but his previous relationship didn't end well, so he's crazy and he beat one of his kids so bad it caused severe brain damage, and the child was not the same. Let's just be real here. Jake should be the number 1 suspect." Quote.
Willful child cruelty. Willful child cruelty. This was not pled down. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hell no. This is California. This is the most convict-friendly state in America, probably second only to New York State, probably more friendly than New York State, to be honest with you. What does that mean? When you're a perpetrator and you get charged with a felony, there is a very high chance they will plead it down to a misdemeanor. If I don't see a pled down charge to a misdemeanor, I'm saying to myself, this person probably did something really, really bad that even very liberal prosecutors out there are like,
so right now, it's not looking good for Jake. And my last story wasn't looking good for Greg with the missing teen who's pregnant. Right now, it's not looking good for Jake or the mom because she's got this black eye. The black eye almost looks fake. It looks old. It doesn't look fresh, right? Not only that, she's also talking about they're saying that she had inconsistencies in her stories. I want to see the video footage. Where's the video footage of all this at, of the parking lot? I know there's cameras. There has to be cameras. And Jake has already went to jail, what the lady just said, 1 day, but he already got arrested for beating on a child. Now, don't forget, they are in California. In California, they are very lenient on criminals and on crime. If he was here in Florida, he'd still be locked up. No questions asked. But in California, very lenient. You can get away with everything there. Almost the M word, as you see right now, alive with somebody. It's very easy to get away with crime in California. And then that's a video for another time. But it's crazy. What do you think? Do you think that the parents have something to do with this? Do you think that they really don't? Now, a friend of the family, I think it's Jake's sister, I can't remember if it's his sister or Beck's sister, did come out and was pretty much defending them, saying that she was a good mom and all this and that, you know. And there's a lot of people coming out saying that they did something with Emmanuel. We all hope that he didn't, but it's really not looking good in any of these cases. I personally know somebody who went missing and the situation didn't turn out good. I'll save that for another video coming up. I personally knew them, and it happened right here, and it was the father's fault. And like, subscribe, and you're gonna see who I'm talking about. Especially if you live here, you might know who I'm talking about. But it's not good. Now, I do know, I believe it was today sometime, they did get a search warrant to search the house. So they did search the house. I believe it was today. And you know how they got to search houses, or how they got the search warrant to search the house? Circumstantial evidence. They had enough circumstantial evidence and consistency in her stories, Jake's background, and then her lying probably about the background. They submitted to the judge, hey, we need to search his house. Judge said, okay, search the house. So we're going to figure out what they found. Now, there are some speculation that there was blood found somewhere, but I couldn't find a source that is verifiable. So I don't know if that's true or not. If you guys know anything, let me know. Let's see about these Big 5 cameras real quick.
Over the weekend, detectives searched his family's Cabazon home with canine units. This morning, that house was quiet, deserted. But outside, cars slowed down. Neighbors stopped by, hoping for answers.
It broke my heart. So I have my little baby, and I love her so much, and I can't even imagine like losing my child or anything happening to them.
Just shocking. I want that baby found.
It all started Thursday evening when Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca Haro, said she was attacked while changing her son's diaper in a Big 5 parking lot in Yucaipa.
I got him out of the car seat and I laid him down so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, hold on, that's all I remember.
But on Saturday, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department said the story Haro told detectives had inconsistencies. And when confronted about it, she ended the interview. They also said they can't rule out foul play in the disappearance of Emmanuel. A day earlier, she made this emotional plea to Eyewitness News.
Just give him back to me again, please. Don't harm my son.
Since then, there's been silence from Rebecca and her husband, Jacob, who, according to Riverside County records, pled guilty to willful cruelty to a child following a 2018 arrest. On Sunday night, the community gathered in the parking lot of Big 5 for a candlelight vigil to pray for Emmanuel's safe return and for answers.
They'll find out, and it'll be soon, I'm sure, and everybody will have their answer, and we're hoping that it's not what we all assume, but we have to wait.
Now, the couple has retained their own attorneys. I spoke with Jake Haro's attorney earlier today, and he tells me that his client does intend to make a statement. He does want to clear the air about his 2018 conviction for child abuse. Reporting live in the Yucaipa, Nikki Suarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Right now, we're going to look at Big 5 sporting goods. I pulled up the map, and we're going to look at the parking lot, and let's be armchair detectives and see if we can find any cameras, because I'm just curious. Now, for you guys that's never been to California, Big 5 Sporting Goods is similar to Dick's Sporting Goods. There's Dick's here in Florida. I don't think there's a Big 5 here. I've never seen one. I grew up in California, grew up in LA, and Big 5 is everywhere. And it's funny, I never saw Dick's until I came here to the East Coast or Southeast, whatever you want to call it. So they have a Big Lots. Looks like some sort of, that's Big 5. I don't know what that is right there. Might be a smaller store. So we're going to look at this parking lot, right? For you guys who've never been to California, the reason why you're seeing these mountains right here is because they're in San Bernardino County. San Bernardino is east of LA, so it's not in the big city. But don't get it twisted. Even though you see these mountains and terrain, San Bernardino is a large population of people. Okay? A lot of people live here. Now, one thing I notice, I see a light. Let's zoom in a little bit. I see that looks like a light, right? And then a light here. If you can see my little arrow, light here, light here. What's this though? Let's zoom in some more. That looks like a camera. You see that dome? That looks like a camera. I mean, I could be wrong, could be a light, but it looks like a camera. What is that across the way? Is that a bank? It almost looks like a bank. It almost does. Are these cameras right here? Or is that part of the tree? So just by looking at this, it looks like I did see two cameras sitting there. Let's see if there's any cameras on the outside of the building. Sometimes they'll have a camera on the outside of the building. I really don't see a camera on the outside of the building anywhere. On that building. But, I mean, there still could be a camera somewhere else, and we could be just missing it. Let's go over here a little more. Can we go up here a little more? All right, so is this a light or? All right, so that is actually, I think that is a street light. That looks like that might be a street light. What's this across the street though? Just by looking at this, it does look like there's not a lot of cameras around just from what I'm seeing. So did they know this area? Did they scope this area out already? And they knew exactly where to go? And where was she at in the parking lot? So what do y'all think? Do y'all think they had something to do with it? Do you think it was just the father? Do you think the mom and the father had something to do with it? Or do you think this really happened to her? Because in certain situations, you might not remember everything. And I can see her lying about his background. It's her man. So I can see her doing that. I mean, who wouldn't, right? But the cops do know everything. And not only that, kicker, he's also an immigrant. Supposedly he's here illegally. Bet y'all didn't know that. But this is Fugitive TV. Let me know what y'all think. Like and subscribe. Until next time, we're out.